Is your fan all situated,
Fan is
Alex?
on.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that are brave enough to sit here with this weather, so it's actually quite good. So thank you.
Amazing. Okay. I'm Marilyn Valace, Global Head of Revenue at Pixis, and I'm really thrilled to be on a MadFest stage again with Alex Hoffmann.
Yes, and I'm Alex Hoffmann, Digital, Innovation Director at Passion Digital. And today, yes, we're going to talk about AI and what not to do with it.
So, for those of you that attended MadFest up north in February, Alex and I were on a stage there where what we talked about was the growing fear and conversation around whether AI was actually going to replace marketers. Where I think we've all concluded is that while AI will make us as marketers better, stronger, and more strategic, what it's not ever going to replace is our ability to be strategic or our human creativity. And so today, what we're going to do is dive deeper into how to actually implement these AI solutions at your companies. So before I ask Alex some questions, a professor of management from the Wharton School of Business last month named Ethan Mollick, he wrote an article about how companies are approaching AI transformation. And in this article, he cites several surveys and also controlled studies that said, number one, employees are using AI on a daily basis, and number two, it's making them more productive. So before I ask Alex some questions, I just want to go over some of these statistics. So let's see here. I want to make sure I get them right. So a representative study from Denmark found that users thought that they halved their working time for 41% of the tasks that they did on a regular basis. And then a more recent study of Americans found that workers said using AI tripled their productivity, primarily taking 90-minute tasks and reducing them down to 30 minutes. So now, we all know that self-reported data is not 100% reliable, but there are some controlled studies as well. A Danish study from last year showed that 65% of marketers had used AI at work, and this is probably an undercount. But most recently, we've seen that the KPMG Pulse survey reported a massive increase in daily AI usage, jumping from 22% in Q4 to 58% in Q1. So, while this illustrates that employees are using AI on a regular basis, and they're saying it's making them more productive, one of the largest challenges is how is this getting aggregated and recognized at the company level? How does your CFO know that this is actually improving efficiency and ROI? So Alex, while AI is making us more efficient, is it also making us lazier?
Well, as you just said, everyone is a bit lazy. I mean, you can't just sit here there and say, oh, I'm not lazy, I like to work all the time. That's not true. We're all a bit lazy. And everyone wants to work smarter, not harder. And that's what the statistics say. But as well, because people want to work smarter and not harder, they will do everything to make their lives easier. And that's normal. We're all human beings. We care about ourselves before the business we work at, unless you own the business, which is a bit different. But we're all going to try to make our lives easier. The problem is if we work at improving our lives and it's not measured at the business level, as you said, it can't be monitored. And if it can't be monitored, then the impact is only individual. So you're going to have a better day. You're going to do a lot more things done faster. But will you do more? It happens to me. I'm just going to launch a script. ChatGPT is writing an article. I'm going to get a coffee. Maybe 2, maybe 3. I mean, that guy is working there. So why would I do more? Why do I do more? Because the way our business works today is we've been tasked to do a task. It's not because we do it faster that we have to do more of it because we're not measured on it. And that's because if it's done individually, you're not going to be measured against it.
So do you have, what's an example of scoping out how to measure it at the company level?
Yeah, so for example, as a marketing agency, we're a digital marketing agency. So if we say we scope a project and we say we're going to do 5 pages optimization. It's going to cost you $1,000, sake of argument, yeah? Then before, it might have taken you 5 hours, 10 hours, and you will build on time. But today, if you're smart, you can do that a lot faster. But if I tell someone to do those pages, you're going to say, cool, it takes me 10 minutes now. I'm not going to do more because that's what we sold, and that's how the whole business model is made. And that's a big shift that we need to think about, is if all our models are based on an old way without integrating AI, it's going to be very hard to measure the efficiency of AI once it's introduced.
So it sounds like you're saying that workflows need to be rebuilt or reimagined when you're looking at implementing tools across teams or across companies.
Exactly. So AI at the moment is just an add-on to companies. We have teams, we have their processes, we have their workflows, and we just add it on top of it, which is great. We test it, it's new, etc. But this will not solve the problem because, as you just said earlier, the CFO, who owns the money, can't measure it. And if you want to deploy it, you need to be able to measure efficiency, and it's quite hard. So we need to change the way we work, the way we scope, the way we build, the way we everything for it to be efficient.
Okay. So with that, should we be worried about marketers using AI tools that they don't fully understand?
Yes. I see it every day. We see it from stories like people don't really understand how it works. And because the LLMs it's magical. I mean, the person who was talking before had it completely right. It will always give you a positive answer. It always sounds like it's the best thing ever. It will never say something wrong. It will always tell you, yes, the thing you did is amazing, even if it's not. And if it doesn't have an answer, it will still give you an answer. So this is very scary if you don't train your teams and give them guidelines on how to use it, because it sounds so real that you can get just lost in it. So I would say, yes, it can be very, very dangerous. Then there is the fact that laziness comes into play, and, oh, I'm going to chuck all my reports in it. Great, I'm going to chuck all my data. Well, some of this data is proprietary to the business. If you have like a financial report, etc., you can't just chuck things into AI. And there will be a need in the future of stronger guidelines into businesses of what you can and can't do. And I think as an agency for us, like, clients are requesting more more guidelines around it, and we need to provide to them. Like, we can't just do whatever we want with it just because it makes our life easier.
So how are you using AI today, and where are you seeing the most exciting results?
So we're using it mostly in 3 ways. So as I said earlier, reporting. For reporting, as long as you have approval and permission to use the data, for reporting, it's quite good because you can generate charts, analyze data quite quickly. That doesn't replace a human being that has to do it, but if you're in a pickle and you want to do some analysis, quick analysis of a spreadsheet, it's a lot faster. And it's good. I mean, it's good. It provides good results. But I wouldn't do it on massive, massive analysis in one go, because the LLM will get confused and will spit out the different results every time. So I would say reporting. Content creation, I think everybody has used it for content creation. The way not to use it is just to use a free version and ask a question and ask to write something. Also, saying act as a, I don't know, financial analyst doesn't really work. Yeah, it can help, but it's not the right way to do it. And if you use it properly and you add like your custom models and you train them and you add a tone of voice, etc., you can get to something that's close to quite good. So we're really trying it at the moment, and we're trying to push the boundaries on how close can we get to an actual voice consistently. And that the word you used earlier is consistency is very key. No business will work if the AI is not consistent. And lastly, research. That's my personal favorite, because we're not asking to do analysis, we're just asking to find information. And then the results are a lot better. So deep research, whether on Perplexity, Gemini, ChatGPT, is bloody amazing. You can get so much done in such a short amount of time. Getting 60, 70 pages report on an industry with source, citation, consolidate them together. But please don't tell him, then do a strategy out of it. Yeah, that's not the point of the research. You need still to do a bit of work. So leave the laziness to the research, which can be very well automated.
How much time would you say your team is saving by doing research using AI? So even though they're not using it for strategy or to create media plans or things like that, how much time would you estimate it saves your team?
I mean, on certain tasks, we can save up to 70% or 80% of the task itself. So on research, something that would take 2 or 3 days can now be done in 20 minutes. And it's accurate. And that's amazing. Content creation, same. Briefing, same. We can save so much. But again, it needs to be measured.
Amazing. So given that your team is actively using AI, you're seeing success, how is it helping you to make your clients more competitive within their industries?
So, as I mentioned, the deep research is something we're working very closely at the moment, developing it. And even for our clients they always say they know their market. Everybody thinks they know their market. And it's normal because we're working in that industry. But the reality is you don't go through thousands and thousands of websites, what people say about you, blogs, etc., streams. So that's a good way for us to provide value, is to get them in-depth research about a product, a service, a segment, a market, a sub-service in a certain market, and see all this information. And this is all done through deep research. That's one way we give value. The other way is value for money. We need to provide more, faster, for cheaper. I mean, every marketing team is like that at the moment. And that's what we do. So we integrate this in our workflows so we can be more competitive, and we help them be more competitive. Because if they have more information that they can't, where they don't have the time to process, because sometimes their marketing teams are small, we give them that to them readily packaged so they can inform their teams, whether in email, CRM, inbound, outbound, anything, so they can action that in their business.
Okay, switching gears a bit. So when we're now looking to expand our marketing teams, should we be hiring for curiosity, judgment, creativity over technical skill?
I think the reality is that AI has been changing so much, and it will change tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. The skill set is so evolving that fast that, for me personally, curiosity is number one. You need to be able to evolve constantly and to change and tweak. And like when I started, my job is completely different when I started than today. It's like a completely different job. So you constantly need to find new stuff. And also you say, oh, AI, you need to code, etc. Well, actually, AI can really help you doing that already. You can not build complete madness websites, but you can build codes, automations. Even if you have zero coding experience, as long as you're curious, find the right tool, debug, and you can just launch anything yourself. So yeah, curiosity is always number one for me and will always be.
All right. So to wrap up, how can marketers prepare today for the future?
So I think the important bit here is we're all using AI. We all probably using AI in silo. I would say the best way is to talk at the business level and see how can we integrate it. So I know no one wants more work on their table. No one wants this. But it's if you find in your teams optimization, efficiency, etc., is aligning them to the business goals, is talking to line managers like senior directors, etc. I say, oh, I found this. How can we optimize the way we deliver that service, sell that product, do our margin, so we can fit all this AI into it instead of everyone doing it in their own like laptop, and then it's not controlled. So it's going to be an effort of taking a break, stopping for a minute, and collating what everybody has done in the business, documenting it, going back to the top, and revisiting the workflows from a business level back down instead of just carrying on, adding it on every team.
So it definitely sounds like, well, we need to monitor. We have to have balance, right? In order for us to remain agile, even though we need to regulate how people are using AI within teams and within companies, in order to be able to truly measure it, we've got to have a level of control, but not one that hinders our growth and also our ability to continue to expand for our clients and for our companies.
Exactly. I mean, the problem is when there's too much control, you're going to lose the race of being as efficient as competitors, for example. Companies that just block everything and want to control everything will risk of getting left behind. So you need to find the right balance between why do I accept being shared into LLMs and systems, etc., and what don't I accept doing. And finding that balance, it will be different for each business. But I would say start now, because if you're in a startup, great, because you probably have more propensity for risk. But for more established business, you might not want to do it, but then you might lose against newcomers that are really trying to break the system and just rebuilding from the inside instead of bolting it on again to the services.
Definitely. I agree. Makes sense. Well, I think that's our time, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Alex and I would love to talk to any of you after this session as well, so please feel free to come up to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.